Hey everyone, welcome back to my series of going through the Quake 2 Remastered's id Vault. This is the last and final video, part 5, where we are going to go over the enemies in Quake 2. If you haven't seen the other parts, especially part 1, please go check that out as I explain everything and what's going on and the history behind the id Vault, and I think it's worth it for you to go check that out. We have a lot to go through today, so let's just hop right in there. Alright, so we have a decent amount of enemies to get through here. There are definitely paragraphs to read for each one, as well as animations and new models versus the original model. So let's get started. We're going to start with the Arachnid, which is a console enemy. The Arachnid is one of the toughest non-boss enemies found in the console version of Quake 2. The Arachnid's dual railguns are fired one after the other, right first, and are capable of outright killing an unprotected player if both shots connect. When in melee range, the Arachnid swings at the player with its arms, using the railguns as improvised clubs. Alright, let's check this out. Now, I never played the console version of Quake 2, so it's kind of cool to see this enemy. Barracuda Shark. The only creatures indigenous to water on Stragos, their blade-like teeth and spiked tail are capable of disemboweling you. Alright, there they are. And then here's the original model. Berserker. He has a metal spike as one arm, a hammer as another, and moves very quickly. This is the enhanced version. Here's the original. Enhanced. So just added a lot of detail to the texturing. Black Widow. She appears to be a high ranking within the Strog hierarchy, which means she has been around and has been victorious. Her experience can be seen in her armaments. She has multiple weapons at her disposal and the ability to summon in reinforcements at a moment's notice. Here's the original model. Cool. The Black Widow Spider version. This is the Black Widow's preferred mode of transport, an arachnid-shaped tank featuring even more firepower than when she's on foot. So the enhanced version and the original model. Brains. A vicious cyborg abomination with life-stealing tentacles protruding from its chest during an attack. There's the original. The enhanced. They're very similar. Carrier. Massive, brutish, and deadly, this particular Strog is one to avoid at all costs. With twin chain guns, a railgun, and a grenade launcher, this flying arsenal is well equipped to deal with Marines. As if that weren't enough, the Carrier can also teleport in flyers for extra Marine-giving action. Alright, here's the enhanced version. The original model. Daedalus. This is a more powerful version of the Icarus. He shoots an upgraded blaster from his shoulder-mounted lasers. He also utilizes the power screen to blunt the force of your attacks. Flying enemy. It's the original model here. There's a lot of painted detail added to this guy, especially around the back of his jets here. Fixbot. Better left alone, these hard-working robots could usually be found repairing doors, lights, and other types of equipment. Here's the original model. It's interesting, the lighting on the original makes it look a little more detailed. Flyer. A small two-winged monster comprised of a controlling brain and a cyborg body that allows it to levitate. Alright, let's check it out. If you remember in part 2, it talked about how they added the face late in development to the Flyer. It's definitely really cool. And then here's the original model. I might have to pause the animation for this one. It's a little flippy. There you go. Original. Enhanced. Gek. A lightning-fast amphibious creature that lives and hunts in the planet's proto-swamps. It's the original model. Gladiator. With 2 massively mechanized legs and 1 shoulder-mounted railgun, the Gladiator is the daddy of all the adapted humanoids. The original model. So I rounded out that railgun on his shoulder a lot. Gladiator Phalanx. This mutant's shoulder-mounted weapon has been modified to fire Phalanx particle cannon rounds. He has also been fitted with protective energy armor. So this guy must be from the expansion pack. Here's the original model. I gotta go back and play those. I barely remember them. Guardian Console. It appears to have been constructed from a Take Commander's torso, wired into a massive pair of mechanical legs. 2 large weapon assemblies extend from his shoulders. Commonly, the Guardian launches continuous 4-round bursts of hyper blaster fire in the player's direction from its right weapon mount. The Guardian will also use the laser mounted on its left shoulder against players who are greater distance away. If the player gets too close to the Guardian, it will attempt to kick or stamp them, dealing massive amounts of damage. Alright, this is the Guardian from the console version of the game. Only in the console version of the game. Stop the animation here. It's cool that they included these in the remaster. And of course you can go back and play the Quake 2 64 campaign as well, which I fully intend to do when I have some time. Alright, Gunner. The fighting elite for the Strogg, outfitted with a powerful machine gun and an automatic grenade launcher. Alright, this is the enhanced version. Original model. I always loved how this guy's gun opened up on his arm like a blooming flower or something. I always thought that was really cool. There it goes. Such a cool animation. Gunner Commander. If the Gunner is the fighting elite, the Gunner Commander is the elite of the elite. The Gunner Commander is more lethal, shooting projectiles from a modified form of the ETF rifle. The Commander is also issued with power armor as standard and has multiple melee attacks. So the original model, enhanced. Hornet. The Strogg Hornets are used for strategic defense of key objectives. While they are large in size, they are also highly maneuverable, allowing them to faithfully patrol both indoor and outdoor areas. As a weapons platform, they have both a pair of chain guns and a pair of rocket launchers at their disposal, giving them excellent suppression ability. Here's the remastered model and the original model. Alright, the Icarus. One of id Software's coolest monster designs in my humble opinion, relies on a huge jetpack attached to its back with laser blasters mounted into his shoulders. So this is the enhanced version, and we'll look at the original model here. There's something about this model I always really liked a lot. Alright, Infantry. Strong, muscle-bound warrior who dishes out chain gun speed damage. There's the original. If you recall, back in the development section, there's a couple of alternate skins for this guy that they could have used but decided not to. Insane Human. The Strogg use these poor bastards for food and for creating their horrible soldiers. They've been driven insane by the Strogg and can no longer defend themselves or do much of anything but accept their fate. Yeah. You come across these guys in the campaign, you should just... You know what to do. Alright, Iron Maiden. Equally as powerful as the Gunner, this femme fatale has both an arm-mounted rocket launcher and flesh-tearing claws. Ooh. How'd you like to come home from the bar and wake up to that thing next to you? There's the original model. The remastered version. Iron Maiden Heat-Seeking. Her arm-mounted rocket launcher has been modified with heat-seeking rockets that track their targets. in the original model. Kind of put her in a weird pose here, but whatever. Alright, scroll down a little bit here. The Jorg. Little is known about the Jorg besides they appear to carry the Macron head of command. In the original model. Kind of reminds me a lot of Klesk from Quake 3 Arena. I'll put a screenshot of him up. Macron. Even less is known about the Macron than the Jorg. The Jorg appears to act as a vehicle for the Macron inside, but even detached from the Jorg, they have even more dangerous weaponry. Alright, the Macron with its railgun face. And then the original model here. Medic. As the name suggests, this threatening organism has the ability to waken dead Strogg from eternal sleep. Original model. Medic Commander. These troops have a modified version of the Hyper Blaster as a deadly prosthetic. Original model. Alright, the Mutant. If you recall in video 2, there was a Mutant version that was all red, and I really like that version a lot, so let's see what they came up with. The Strogg fineries have spewed toxins into the ecosystem for untold decades, causing this once docile creature to mutate into a fierce, fast, flesh-tearing beast. That's moving a little fast. Let's turn the animation off so we can look at it. I'll be honest, I kind of like the red version better, but this is still pretty good. Here's the original, obviously. Okay. Parasite. Four-legged beast with a probe on its back. Once fired, it attaches itself and literally sucks the life from you. Oh, I hate these guys. They're one of my least favorites for whatever reason. Here's the original. The Shambler. Uh-oh. Alright, spoiler alert. There's a Shambler in the new episode that came out with Quake 2 Remastered by Machine Games. So there's a lot of people speculating that they're going to combine the lore of the two Quakes because of the Shambler being in Quake 2 now. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. This thing is definitely not from Strogos. It may be from a past Strogg-conquered planet, or it might be from another dimension entirely. We're not quite sure. Here's the original Quake 1 version. Yeah, they definitely made him a little bit more hulky and rounded. The Shambler's so cool. Alright, Soldier Light. Weakest of the three processed humans, armed solely with a simple blaster. Original model. Soldier Ripper. His arm-mounted weapon has been modified to accommodate a body-shredding ion ripper. Soldier Hyper. These troops have a modified version of the Hyper Blaster as a deadly prosthetic. I like the color scheme on these guys. The green and black looks pretty cool. Soldier Laser. Advancing Strogg technology has given these guards the ability to mount a high-powered laser on their arm. Stalker. Spider-like cyborgs that skulk around in unlikely places. At a distance, they fire an improvised blaster from ports on their backs. Up close, they have a lethal slash attack. The original model. Super Tank. The ultimate combination of man and machine has been enhanced with powerful energy armor. Yeah, these guys are beasts. Here's the original model. Super Tank Heat-Seeking. Like the Super Tank, but even worse with the addition of heat-seeking rockets. Original model. Here's the regular tank. Tanks have 3 weapons they use at random: an arm-mounted machine gun, an arm-mounted laser blaster, and a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. Original model, enhanced. Original, enhanced. You almost can't tell the difference on this guy. Tank Commander. These tanks are a special class designed to secure the inner city from infiltrators. I like the color scheme on these guys. Here's the original model. Yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot of difference between the original model and the enhanced model. Tank Commander dead. The Tank Commander, after coming in contact with us in battle, this one was brought in from the field for research. Oh, it's just kind of showing the death animation. Alright, Technician. An almost completely robotic brute, controlled by a brain that floats around inside its metal body in a red preserving fluid. This creature moves about by hovering on 4 jets that sits under its body, and is equipped with 3 weapons: a shocking prod, a flesh-ripping claw, and a laser blaster. Use energy armor if you've got any. And the original model here, very similar between original and enhanced. And the last one's the turret. These rapid-fire weapons are mounted in the floors and ceilings. They activate when they sense your presence. There are 3 types of turrets: blaster, machine gun, and rocket. There you go, the turret. And the original model, which is just not as rounded. Alright, there you have it, everybody. That is the last and final part of this video series. We just went through all the enemies. And yeah, I know there was more to read in these paragraphs, but I just figured you guys could pause it if you really felt like reading everything. I wanted to get through it. I wanted to make sure this video wasn't too extremely long. But I hope you liked it regardless. I hope it helped you learn a little bit about some lore, and honestly, it's just kind of cool to go back and see the art and the difference between the remaster and the original models. If you enjoyed this series, please let me know in the comments below. Give my video a like if you can, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel for more content. As always, thank you so much for hanging out and watching my stuff. I'm SaltyOctopus, and I'll see you next time.